A little quick one for you this fine Sunday morning here today. So earlier I posted one of my many awesome and intended to be hilarious for the most part Facebook posts in response to a meme I saw shared by some motherfucker on my feed. I don't know, but the meme is a tweet from a person by the name of Honeybee, which I guess they go by @punkmom on Twitter. But it says, just a friendly reminder that anxiety attacks aren't always hyperventilating and rocking back and forth. They are also random bursts of irritability, obsessive behavior and nitpicking, hypersensitivity, pacing, silence, zoning out. Always look for signs with your loved ones. So I shared it and said, sounds like one of the many women who literally just use mental illness as an excuse to be a bitch. They're not mentally ill, they're weak and pathetic. Huge difference. So just to clarify a little bit of what I was talking about here, I'm sure all of you know somebody in life or on the internet, even better, who's probably a woman and also a raging bitch. She's nasty to everybody she knows. She has random bursts of irritability. She's very obsessive and nitpicky about a lot of things that are just ridiculous. I don't know so much about the pacing, but the silence, you know, that's stonewalling. We call it stonewalling. If you catch one of these people in one of their stupid fucking tirades and manage to nail them down for the immature asshole that they're being at the expense of people with actual mental problems, they just kind of sit there and shut down. And I bring this up because a lot of them, when you confront them with the fact that they're just a fucking bitch, out bitch, they'll sit there and say, well, I have a mental illness. Oh, no, it's not your mental illness. Being very rude to people for no fucking reason is not a mental illness. You just can't control your rage, okay? I'm not meaning to pick on rage. It's a very useful thing, as is anger, but when you direct that in a purely verbally abusive fashion with people in your life and then try to walk back from it and say it's because you have a fucking anxiety disorder, that's ridiculous, okay? There are people out there who have anxiety disorders. I think it's a fraction of the people that are actually diagnosed with it more often than not, which is why I said weak and pathetic. A lot of anxiety comes from just being a little bitch, whether you're a man or a woman, you know? It's a very useful emotion to have. I don't think you should throw it under the bus just out and out, but you need to be able to realize when it's serving you and when it's acting against you. And a lot of people who supposedly or allegedly struggle with anxiety, I think that's really the issue that they're having, is that they're sort of allowing this emotion that can be very useful to sort of run amok. So for instance, when I totaled a car back in fucking 2012, I don't know, it was snowy road, bullshit, didn't know the term was coming, what have you, it wasn't the area I was used to driving in. So it took a couple months for me to save up and get another piece of shit Ford Taurus. And the first thing that I did was went and drove on the exact same kind of road that I had had the accident on. Now, it was fucking terrifying. I was literally shaking from the like mini PTSD I had given myself from that fucking car crash. But now I drive on snowy roads without an issue. If I were to have adopted the mind frame of these people who bang on about their fucking mental illness, I would probably still be scared to drive on a snowy road to this day. So in that situation, the anxiety was good because a part of me recognized that I was in a similar situation that I was when something very bad and unpleasant had happened prior. That's where your conscious mind comes in and says, okay, well, you know, this is wide open. It's the middle of the day. It's broad daylight. I'm just watching my speed and making sure everything's fine. And you have to stay on that snowy road. I had to stay on that snowy road in order to sort of abate or bring down that unnecessary anxiety response. So that's what I'm talking about. Similarly, you know, I see a lot of guys, especially because I'm so into red pill MGTOW content, that, you know, they go on and on about this fucking anxiety, about this, that, and the other. It's like, yeah, dude, I used to have it too. You have to go practice and work with it and directly face it. You can't hide from it and take Xanax like a fucking pussy, you know? So what we're seeing here with people that are all about this anxiety is my fucking mental illness is who I am bullshit, is they are literally almost fetishizing weakness in the sense that, you know, I had got, somebody had posted a comment on this, I don't know, or did they post it again? No, but they posted a comment. I hardly remember what it was, but it was basically like, you know, you might hurt people's feelings and not all something rather, I don't give a fuck. So it's like, Well, first of all, you deleted your comment. So it's interesting that I'm talking about being weak and pathetic when you can't even leave a comment that wasn't even that rude on a fucking post. Like, what are you afraid of, you know? So later, this individual goes ahead and messages me. Obviously, I'm going to keep everything anonymized here, but they came in and said, hey, I feel like I should mention that panic disorders can result from abuse. Obviously. Abuse victims don't always have what it takes to read posts like that and not go inward and hate themselves. There's a lot packed into that. If you can't handle what I say, just unfriend me. Don't look at what I have to say. The onus is not on me to manage your emotional states. The problem, and why I'm making a video about this, is because this sort of mushy-gushy, care for the victim mentality is what has led to a lot of the free speech and censorship shit that we're having to deal with today, because so many people are, again, so weak and pathetic that they can't handle simple text on a screen. So why would I, the strong individual, bring myself down so that a weak individual, who's going to be weak and pathetic no matter what I do, can continue existing in a comfortable fashion? It's not my responsibility whatsoever to manage the emotional states of other people. That's your responsibility. So she says, please be mindful, as implying that I'm not mindful. It's, you know, this is how women are a lot of the times when they get upset by something. They oftentimes lack the logical capacity or the intelligence to come at it from a balanced way. I'm sure that she has mental problems of her own. She continues, I hope I'm not being rude. I'm not trying to, really. Well, I mean, you should know if you're being rude or not. Maybe she meant, I hope I'm not coming across as rude. I don't know. You guys know that I couldn't give a shit less what anybody says to or about me. So keep that in mind if you ever have a problem with what I say. She says, I just thought I should say something because I don't want anyone to see that and blame themselves if something did happen to them, you know? Sorry and have a good day. Well, that's the thing, is that women who use mental illness as an excuse to be an abusive bitch to people, they should definitely see that and blame themselves, because they are the ones who are choosing to act out, oftentimes towards their own fucking children, which is especially cowardly and pathetic, but to, you know, pussy simp men, their co-workers, people they have dominion over and the like. People like that should read what I say, they should get upset, and they should blame themselves because they're worthless, nasty people with nothing better to do but spread misery. That is not a mental illness. That's called being a fucking bitch. There's a huge difference between these things, you know? And it's like, to sit here and message me all this shit, it's like, do you think I give a fuck if somebody is out there getting triggered by what I have to say? I mean, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but viewing what I put online and what I say online is totally voluntary. So there's no reason why you or anybody else should sit here and tweak what it is you're going to say such that it's not going to offend people who are effectively worthless. Now, I don't mean to say that people who have actual anxiety disorders, the small amount of sufferers thereof that actually do have it, you know, I'm not trying to talk shit about them. Obviously, when you have a mental illness, again, to the degree that it exists and is not just a cope or you being a weak pussy, you know, that's a real problem. There are people with real mental illnesses. Obviously, I'm not talking shit about them. And it should have been totally obvious to anybody with two brain cells to rub together that I wasn't trying to talk shit or call people with mental illnesses, actual mental illnesses, weak. The people who are weak are people who are lazy, scared, and what have you, don't want to put in the work to get over their anxiety, they're over fear. Those are the people that are weak. Those are the people that are pathetic, and people that take advantage of supposed mental illness. You know, bipolar disorder is a big one. Oh, I'm PMSing, I guess I get to be a fucking bitch to everybody. No, that's bullshit. You're an adult, you have control over your faculties. Keep that in mind when you read stuff on the internet, because it's nobody's responsibility but your own to manage your emotional states. And I just think it's ridiculous that, you know, there's a lot of guys out there, lesser men of course, who would read something like this and then go and recant or try and placate this woman. I just said, you know, thanks for the feedback, I guess. I've been trying this shtick of being nice to people here and there as much as I can. It doesn't seem to get me anything, but I guess maybe I'll be, you know, not banned any sooner than I otherwise would be. So, you know, thanks, and stay triggered, I guess.